Unlike most Scrapbox venture projects, ours began on the very first day of class, and we made very few pivots throughout the course of the project. When we were asked to sort through a pile of random scraps, we grabbed a bunch of random things from the box. Included in these things was a cylinder and a string. In brainstorming useful products that could be made from our pile, we came up with the idea of a bee catcher. Having had tailgated just a couple of days before, we knew that the bees, wasps, and hornets were out and aggressive at this time of the season. So, using the materials we had, we developed a prototype which eventually evolved into our final product, BeeGone.
Just like honey, just like honey.
Shortly after we'd come up with our product, we knew we had to do a little bit of research. So we went online and figured out how to make homemade bee traps. It said that it'd be easier if we used a water bottle instead of a cylinder, and that by flipping the water bottle upside down, this would force the bees in and not allow them out. So we went off to Scrapbox and we were able to find some old tennis ball cans, string, and we actually got a hole puncher as well, which would help tie the string around. After testing a regular water bottle that we'd found and using our tennis ball cans, we found out that the tennis ball cans weren't as good as just finding water bottles that we had around the house. So we used our water bottles and started constructing the product.
He never did agree to all of the chores he should do. So he picked up the phone.
With our product BeeGone, we iterated a few times in the beginning. First and foremost, we iterated the bottle, which started off as a tennis can and eventually got iterated into using plastic bottles, which are free and indispensable here on campus. In addition, we also iterated when it came with respect to the fluid inside the container, and iterated in a few ways. We kind of started off with just honey and then developed into more Mountain Dew after doing some research online, and then actually combined the two elements for our final liquid container. And those are our few iterations that we had.
Buzzing all day long. So he set off on his own with the bottle of cologne and a playlist of all his best tunes. Buzzing through the doors, the killers and the calls of the pyramids and Timbuktu. All the bees looked up as he came into land on the Spanish golden sands. And then he sang, buzz, 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 buzz. I wanna just play because I don't wanna be working on.
When we first started our company, we weren't sure which liquid would yield the best results. We had to iterate through and find the best combination that would attract the most wasps. We settled on Mountain Dew and honey to do the job. When we first started selling, we were going to rely on fraternities and friends for most of our sales, which worked out really well for the first week, as shown by strong sales. However, they started to plateau, and we realized that we needed to expand our channels. So we started passing out flyers in the Ugly, going door to door and posting on the columns on which posters are often posted.
For 2 weeks in the sun, he was such a lazy bum, just drinking and fooling around. Checking out the scenes, meeting out the queens, he became the man about town. Buzzing all day long. The little bee danced, he waggled in a trance to all of the.
And then our sales jumped dramatically due to the increased exposure and multiple channels that we were now using. One challenge that we faced in this project was that none of us wanted to work Saturday, which is a huge sailing day because our product is mainly used to facilitate tailgating, but we were all tailgating on Saturdays. So that meant we had to network really well during the week and make sure that people knew that when Saturday came, they needed our product. Some disagreements that we had were on whether or not or at what price our bulk deal should be. So we had a lot of different options available to us, and we ended up interviewing customers and asking them what they would most likely buy and in what bundle they would be most interested in.
Bees in the trap, bees in the trap.